guys, and welcome back to Bobble Pod. I'm Claire Daniels, CEO of Trio Media.
I'm Manni Singh, CEO of Bobble Digital.
And I'm Anush Mnatsakanyan, CEO of Burnway.
So today we're carrying on our series in the what, why, and how of websites. So in episode 1, we covered off the what, so what it means to have a great website. So please do go check out that first episode. And then today we're going to be covering more of the why. So why should you invest in your website? Why a great website needs additional things like SEO, videos, site speed and everything like that, and why a video would be super important on your website. So to kick things off, we covered in the last episode, what it takes to have all these different elements, like what a great website would look like. And so we want to go into why we would really encourage people to invest in their website and why that is something that as a business, you should definitely consider spending some budget on because of the return that it can get you. So just kind of going around the group, first of all, Manni, why do you think it's important to invest in your website?
I'm going to look at it from a Bobble perspective. So we really invested into our website during the pandemic as everyone else. So we used that time, not to say that our previous website was bad, but to reflect in terms of, what was good about it, on what wasn't good about it. And you talked about last episode, the 5 reasons. And we did a bit of that exercise and we realized that actually our website doesn't really communicate our core strengths as a business. So we invested into that because we realized there's an opportunity in the market for us to start ranking. Now we rank extremely well for our services like SEO agency leads. We're on top page 1 right next to you guys, Trio. So investing in your website is the most important thing you can do, especially if you're then going to be investing into paid media, because a good, responsive, well-built website that is there to convert customers will give you a better return on investment from your paid media. So if you're not investing in your website, but then you go up to an agency and say, we want to do PPC campaigns, or we're going to do a video campaign, or we want to be on TikTok, etc. The focus of doing that isn't just brand awareness. You want an ROI from your campaigns. You want a return on investment. If I spend £5,000 in media, I want that to drive £20,000-30,000 worth of sales for my business. That can only be possible if you invest in your website, because you're completing that journey. The first impression comes on, your Facebook ad or your Google ad based on what they've searched for. So you've got a customer there with real intent looking for your services or products. If they get to the website and they have a poor experience, then why did you spend all that money on paid media if you didn't invest in your website in the first place? Because then they're just going to bounce off and your bounce rate is going to be completely high. And then you've just gone and spent a lot of money on a potential customer and you haven't nurtured them from the, hey, here's what we do, here's what we can offer. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, great, I'll have a look. And like, oh no, this website doesn't give off what the ad said. And they drop off and you've lost a potential customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just thinking then as you were talking, I was thinking, how could we communicate this to people, why it's so important? And, whichever way works for you, but think of your website as another product, another service, or another member of your team. You wouldn't scrimp on any of those things. So don't go down that direction when it comes to your website. I completely appreciate not everyone has massive budgets. And, at Trio, we work with very small budgets up to much higher budgets because we try to make having a great website accessible for everyone. But ultimately, if you go down a route of, I'm just going to build a website on Wix, and it's the second time I mentioned it, so you might know I don't like Wix websites. We're just going to build a website on Wix, I can do that on an evening. We hear business owners saying that, I know how to do it. I'll do it on an evening. I can do that. I can do this. And actually you end up with something that is not the best version of what you could have. And, having a great website and investing in it means you can put your best foot forward in terms of demonstrating to other people why they should work with your business. And absolutely, that experience of going from seeing something great on social media or through a paid ad and landing on your website and going, oh, well, this isn't really, this doesn't look that great, or this isn't what I expected. You've then wasted all that money that you've spent previously. I also think as well, typically people who hold back from investing are happy spending quite a lot of money in potentially a print advert in a magazine or in a newspaper, and actually one advert might cost them $3,000 to run for a month and then it's done, but they wouldn't even invest that same money in their website. Yet a print advert, you've got no way of measuring or tracking that whatsoever. We do challenge people back and go, well, how are you measuring the effectiveness of that advert? They're unable to track it. I've seen very little effectiveness in print advertising over my years in marketing, just because of the lack of being able to track it and measure it. So it really is about coming down to a website is going to be the single best piece of marketing you can do that you can measure. So if you invest in that, you are going to know exactly who's coming to your site, how many people are coming to your site, where they are coming from, what they are doing on your site, how many of those people then contacted you. You're just not going to get that metric from anything offline. And so that to me is the importance of investing in your website. What about you, Anush?
Yeah, that's actually, for me, the result of having a good website can show the sales, of course, is the end result. We are doing everything for getting more sales, of course. But to have more sales, you need to keep your customers more on your website so they can learn more and get more knowledge and be interested to contact you. So for me, there are a lot of great ways how to do that, how to make the engagement, increase engagement on your website, increase the conversion rate. But one of the great ways for me is videos. And there are a lot of types of videos which could help you to increase your engagement. During our last episode, I talked very briefly about homepage website, and we call that website, that's video type, an explainer video. And even if you don't have so much budget, that's one type video that you really need to include on your website, because it's the one that shows it shows what you are doing, what your company about, what's your product, how you're helping your customers. And it not need to be very long one, just a short 1-minute video where you're showing your problems, which customers' problems, and showing the solution that you are providing to them. And the explainer videos are also the great way to increase dwell time on your website, because customers could spend more time on watching it, be interested, and start learning, let's say, the other parts, go more deep into details to understand what you are doing and how you can help them. So that means this is really win-win for both visitors and page owners. There is one thing actually I want to talk about, maybe could help a lot of companies, how you should actually add the video on your website, because there are different ways that you could do it. You can just, natively upload them. You can embed them. So I want to share my experience and what would be the best way for your ranking and for your loading as well. So for me, the best way is, of course, putting from YouTube channel or Vimeo channel embedded, because that could actually, it's not really good to have these huge files of the video on your website, which could really make your loading process bad. But the same YouTube channel has its, let's say, tweaks, which can make an issue for you, because it usually, after watching the video, it can suggest you several other videos. So people can be more, let's say, gone away from your website. But at the same time, it's better to have great loading for the SEO reason, for any other reasons. My colleagues will tell you that better. Than just, have any difficulties here. There are actually other types of videos that would be really great to have on your website, but I will tell you very quickly because we don't have so much time to talk in details. So one of the really good video types is demo videos, which you can have on your product and service page to help in more details demonstrate what you are doing. So customers will not read all these, let's say, overwhelming text, but just watch the video and get all the information. Another great video type is company overview on your hiring page, on your team page, because it gives all the information of the company mission, vision, and how you are, what are the goals of the company. And it's great for hiring reasons. If you're also planning to have your website, not only for the customers, but also for your employees. And the great one is also how-to tutorial videos. This is actually one of the good ways for, especially for tech companies. A lot of e-commerce shops as well have FAQ session where they are implementing your, like searching your any question and getting written information about everything, but you can replace that with the video and have just a very short, quick response to every question and help your customers to easily get the information they are looking for. I guess for right now, I can talk about these points and leave my colleagues to tell you more about why you should have a website.
I mean, that kind of brings on to the next point quite well, which is why a great website needs stuff like SEO, website, videos, call to actions. So back to you, Claire, in terms of, you're the website agency specialist here. Why does a great website and why do companies need to invest into all these elements?
Yeah, well, following on from talking about video, I mean, we've kind of naturally led a way there that is already explaining, well, why should you have video on your website? Because it's another method of explaining to people, like answering challenges or questions that they have about your business. So having video on your website is a great tool for that. Video is also good for SEO when uploaded to YouTube, because you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. We can optimize the video on YouTube, embed it onto the website. We've then got multiple ways that we're getting views for that video. There is also a workaround for the recommendations showing at the end. So we can get it so that it will just show recommendations from your own YouTube channel and not from others. So there is a way of working around that. But yeah, a great website without anything else, without then the extra stuff that you could do, like SEO, for example, is not going to be seen by anyone. You have to, just having a great website, unfortunately, isn't good enough. And that's something that we see a lot and have conversations with people is you've been kind of led down the garden path with another agency of this amazing design, but it's not being found by anyone. You're not getting inquiries from it. So, that investment has been a bit of a vanity project, really, because you've made something that looks good, but you've not thought about how that website needs to deliver for you. So I think one of the things that's really important to consider when you're looking at investing in your website is, what do I need my website to do for me? What are those expectations? And then you start looking at all these other elements that are going to tie into it. So SEO, for anyone that doesn't know, search engine optimization, that is the method of optimizing your website to ensure that it is found in search engines. And we're going to cover all about SEO in a whole other series. But is making sure that your website is optimized from the page titles and descriptions, meta titles and descriptions, image titles, image load time, page speed, page load, all these different things that help piece together bit by bit, along with your content, along with all these different elements to get you found online. So SEO really, I think we'll get there one day, but SEO really should be considered as hand in hand with a good website, because if you've made it and you want people to see it, well, we should really look at making sure that you're getting found online. So all those things, it is a case a lot of the time that the more you do, the better performing your website will be. So absolutely, if you've got two websites that look great and then one of them has a video and the other one doesn't, it's then more likely that you're going to spend more time engaging with the site that has the video. Obviously, Anush, you mentioned about dwell time. You're going to be on there longer just because of the fact that you're watching that video. There's something additional to engage with. That's another metric that you can measure. So all of these things, help add up to having a great website that is really going to work for you. And what about you, Manni? Because obviously you're very involved in the SEO side as well, and the importance of doing that to get a website found.
Yeah, I've always found that, just as you just said there, clients, it's getting that educational element over to them. First of all, it's coming back to that point that they'll spend £3,000-4,000 on a print ad or, an outdoor ad, but they won't spend that on their website. And with everyone being online now, and I've said it's the start of the digital age. Industrial age is over, the digital age is here. So a website needs to be maintained, and to maintain a website isn't just maintaining the look and the feel and design elements that you guys do, but it's also maintaining it to